Hello everyone, here I will give a presentation about our WACV 2025 paper DiffPAD Denoising Diffusion-Based Adversarial Patch Decontamination. I am Jia Fu from Rice Research Institutes of Sweden and KTH Royal Institute of Technology. In the ever-evolving adversarial machine learning landscape, developing effective defenses against patch attacks has become a critical challenge, necessitating reliable solutions to safeguard real-world AI systems. Actually, most of the existing adversarial patch detect and defense mechanisms cannot remove the adversarial patch completely. And on the other hand, although diffusion models have shown remarkable capacity in image synthesis and have been recently utilized to counter LP norm-bounded attacks, their potential in mitigating localized patch attacks remains largely underexplored. In this work, we propose DiffPAD, the first adversarial patch decontamination framework that leverages the conditional diffusion restoration process and obviates the need for text guidance or fine-tuning. We derive the correlation between diffusion restoration error and adversarial patch size, which inspires a dynamic thresholded binarization scheme for precise patch localization. Experiments demonstrate that DiffPAD achieves total adversarial robustness against both adaptive and non-adaptive patch attacks and is capable of completely removing patch remnants. DiffPure is one of the earliest works that employs diffusion model to encounter global adversarial perturbations. However, if we want to use DiffPure to clean adversarial patches, we need to consider appropriate halt time step t. Since if t is small, we cannot remove the adversarial patch, and if t increase, the label semantics will also disappear gradually. To our knowledge, Defender can be seen as the first work that uses diffusion model to clean adversarial patches. However, one of the drawbacks of Defender is that it needs generate several different samples for the same adversarial input and overlap with each other to localize the adversarial patch region, which is kind of inefficient. We noticed that denoising diffusion restoration model can conditionally utilize DDPMs for image restoration tasks such as super resolution and imprinting. So this means if we can condition on the clean region of an image that contains adversarial patch, we have the possibility to recover it to the clean image. And in our work, we justify that the property held in the forward process of DDPM that KL divergence of two different distributions will decrease will also hold for DDRM process, implying that injected Gaussian noise will disrupt the patterns of adversarial patches, gradually aligning adversarial distribution with clean distribution. DiffPAD first performs super resolution restoration on downsampled input images, indicated by step 1 and 2, and the purpose of these two steps is to amplify the diffusion restoration error in the patch region. Then in step 3, 4, and 5, we adopt binarization, dynamic thresholding scheme, and sliding window for effective localization of adversarial patches. In practice, we use the diffusion restoration error to determine the threshold tau for binarized function. Mu and nu here are hyperparameters. And we take the number of pixels filtered by binarized function as the estimation of number of pixels within the adversarial patch region. The sliding window is used for finding the localization that contains the most pixels filtered by the binarized function. Finally, DiffPAD applies imprinting techniques to the original input images with the estimated patch region being masked, showed by step 6 and 7. By integrating closed-form solutions for super-resolution registration and image inputting into the conditional reverse sampling process of a pre-trained diffusion model, DiffPAD obviates the need for text guidance or fine-tuning to keep label semantics. In the figure, we can see x0 s tilde and x0 I tilde are expressions of super-resolution solution and image inputting function. By simply substitute x0 hat in the reverse diffusion process with the x0 s tilde or x0 I tilde, we can realize the super-resolution restoration conditioning on downsampled image ys or image inputting restoration conditioning on image being masked yi respectively. The theorem displayed here provides the upper bound of the L2 distance between the diffusion purified image with adversarial patch and the corresponding clean image. The proof of the theorem can be found in the supplementary material. Then, with the help of the triangle inequality, the upper bound of the diffusion reconstruction error can be represented as a linear function of patch size. Here, the epsilon is the L2 norm bound of the patch, and we don't use such error to estimate the adversarial patch size directly. Instead, we use it to determine the threshold for binarized function, and then we estimate the patch size. We posit that threshold tau more reasonably reflects the upper bound of restoration error. A higher tau indicates that the pixels filtered out by binarization are likely to have a higher diffusion restoration error, suggesting a higher probability of originating from the patch region, equivalently a larger patch area in a given image. Later in experiments, we verified that using different classifiers under different patch attacks, and for all the patch sizes, the optimal threshold is in fact linearly related to restoration error. Table 1 and Table 2 are comparisons of clean and robust accuracies on ImageNet datasets with CNN-based classifier ConvNext and Vision Transformer-based classifier Swing2, respectively. ADVP is the standard localized perturbation with random position. LaVan enhances the gradient updates of ADVP and delivers stronger attacks. GDPA optimizes the patch position and pattern by an extra generative network. We choose defense baselines that can serve as purification on input images, including smoothing-based defense (GPG), segmentation-based defense (SAC), entropy-based defense (JD), and diffusion-based defense (DiffPure). We can see that DiffPAD not only reaches the highest accuracies, but also delivers the best image restoration results. Table 3 shows the results on Inception V3 classifier under adaptive attack, where we approximate obfuscated gradients via BPD, assuming the output of the defense function equals the clean inputs. And we can see DiffPAD still performs best. Table 4 are ablation studies that justify the necessity of each module in DiffPAD pipeline. And another strength of DiffPAD is avoiding the excessive defense and ensuring the recognition as good as on clean images. And we can see that only very small area will be recognized as the adversarial patch region for clean images. More results demonstrate the generalizability of DiffPAD for patch with different sizes, and transferability of DiffPAD in other tasks, such as facial recognition, and also stability of DiffPAD in generating decontamination samples. In the future, we will develop DiffPAD to enable it dealing with adversarial patch of more irregular shapes, and we will also try to optimize DiffPAD pipeline for a higher inference speed, since it's important in real-time using. Thanks for your attention. And if you have more questions, please refer to our paper. And also feel free to contact the author team. We are open to collaborations.